G'day everybody, how are you going today? It is so good to see you. I do hope that you are super well. Today we're here to talk about an exciting new lens, and I think this is a really exciting lens for the Z mount. It's also available in the E mount and the XF mount. It's been out for a couple of months. I've seen some reviews. This lens is pretty highly regarded. It's a pretty exciting lens, and this is it right here. This is the Viltrox 75mm 1.2. It's a 1.2. That is a super bright lens for APS-C. That gets you out to 112.5mm. So it's kind of somewhere between a 105 and a 135, more of a 105. There's box, it's called box, says Pro on it, must be Pro, but let's have a look at the lens itself. Here's the lens. That gives you an idea of what it looks like on a ZFC. And, well, I think the Pro moniker is pretty accurate. In this video, we're just going to have a first look. We're going to have a look at the lens, the body, the build, how it sits on a few different bodies. And in the next video, we're going to take it out and shoot with it. We're going to show you what this thing can do. Unlike many of the other Viltrox lenses that I have had in the past, this has a whole lot more switching and button action happening on it. For example, we do have a function button over here on the side. The function button is a focus lock button. Once finding focus, pressing down the button ensures the focus does not change, and when you release the button, you can change focus again. We also have an AF and manual switch. And also over here, we have a click and declick for our aperture. If you're a filmmaker and you want clickless, much quieter, no click and smoother, there is the build. Now it comes with a fine lens hood. It does seem to have a very strong and robust build quality. Now, if I haven't mentioned it, I do need to mention the fact that yes, it's 1.2, it's 75. It's not as big as some other lenses, and of course, being for the XF mount would be a little bit of a giveaway that this is an APS-C lens. That means it's another cropped sensor lens for Nikon's range of cropped sensor cameras. And I'm glad you asked, because of course, here they all are. This is the cropped sensor range of cameras from Nikon. We have the Z30, the ZFC, and the Z50. This lens is perfect for all of these cameras, and then some. Absolutely built for it. Built for the X mount as well as for the E mount. If you're in that space, you can't go wrong. But I don't want you to forget the fact that there's absolutely nothing wrong with sticking an APS-C lens onto a full frame camera, like we have here with the Z7. In the case of 4 of Nikon's full frame Z cameras, they are all 45.7 megapixels, which gives you 19.4 megapixels. That is still a ton of megapixels for a lot of different users. When I first started shooting digitally professionally, cameras were 6 megapixels. Everybody coped. The world was fine. Then we went to 12, and then we went to 20 or 24. This is an absolutely perfect option to either go just over 20 or 19.4. It's much the same whether you're going with your Z7, your Z7 II, your Z8 or your Z9. So the Viltrox works equally well, whether APS-C or 35mm. And what's great about this sort of lens, it's giving you a pro level experience at an affordable price, US dollars. It is $549 US. It's giving you the light gathering of 1.2, and it does give you f1.2. And I know people say yes, no, but yes, but no, but actually, yes, it does. Because I'm not comparing it to a 75mm 1.2 full frame lens. I'm comparing it to itself. And when you frame up the shot that you want to frame up with this lens, not thinking about 35mm, well, you're going to get 1.2 depth of field for the shot that you framed up with this lens, and you're going to get 1.2 of light gathering capability. As I said, the full review with images is to come, but from all the reviews that I've read online from a broad number of reviewers so far, both in XF mount and in E mount, this lens is sharp, It's optically fantastic. People are very impressed by it. This is a really great option if you're interested in Nikon's APS-C range. And to be honest, if you want to get sort of, for example, and there's lots of different use cases, but if you're looking for a really affordable portrait lens around that 105 mark and you want super short depth of field, this is actually a viable option. Doesn't really matter which sensor you're using. Maybe the only ones that you wouldn't want to stick it on is your Z6 or your Z6 II, because your 24 megapixels goes down to around about 10 megapixels. But you know, for some uses like LinkedIn portraits and so on, that is still way more than enough. Almost no use case or camera combination that can't work depending your use case. I like this lens. Now let's pop it on a couple of other bodies. So first we're going to pop it on the Z7. Let's do that. Alrighty, well there it is on the Z7, and to be honest, it looks the same. The experience will be very similar to on the Z50, but let's fire it up and see how it feels. And yes, it is good fast focus. I've got this on silent shutter. Yeah, that is good and fast. I can hardly hear it. It has a very slight whirring sound, but nothing that would bother anybody whatsoever. Well, that looked great, and it's giving us, of course, a 112.5 field of view equivalent. I love the Z50. It is just such a small camera. It's unbelievable how much is going on in such a small unit. You still have this great sized grip for such a small camera. Plenty of space here between your fingers and the lens. So totally workable even with someone with large hands like mine. Now I expect this to perform, let's get it out of video into stills, pretty similarly to the Z7, to be honest. Yeah, it's actually quite snappy. Yeah, no, that's actually really fast. And as we can see here, the lens looks fantastic on the Z50. They are a really good match. Let's talk about some of the spec. There are HD nano multi-layer coatings, 16 lenses across 11 elements. The lens has ultra-high image resolution, precise and fast autofocusing, video shooting optimization for video. So we'll have to check out focus breathing, which Viltrox states on their website that the breathing effect will be insignificant. There is also a USB Type-C interface in the mount of the lens so that you can update to future firmware. And 3-layer protection, waterproof and dust-proof design. Aperture f1.2 to f16. Aperture blades is 11. Minimum shooting distance is 0.88 of a meter or 88 centimeters. Ultralight internal focusing done with STM and lead screw. Not sure what that means. Please, anybody let me know. It can be shot in both manual and autofocus. Magnification is 0.1 times. The size of the lens, 87 millimeters by 101 millimeters. It weighs 670 grams. And the filter size is 77 mils. This is an exciting and intriguing lens from Viltrox, now with the Pro moniker on it, obviously saying there is a premium over previous lenses. The fact that it's 1.2 is really awesome at this price point. And of course, for the Z mount ecosystem, having this lens for APS-C, and it does appear to be at this point in time a competent, fast and sharp lens, I think it's a great addition. And Z users can feel super duper confident about the fact that Viltrox, who have already made 3 or 4 lenses, I think it is, maybe even as many as 5, in their DX APS-C line for Z mount, and now we're getting these Pro lenses on top of that. Along with what Nikon and other manufacturers are doing, there is no shortage of APS-C lenses, which are actually APS-C lenses. They are smaller, lighter, and only give you an APS-C image circle, and thus making some people who want to travel more lightly happier. Let's keep in mind though, at 1.2, it is big glass for APS-C. Please let me know in the comments below what you think of this lens. Are you excited by this lens? Would this be something that you might add to your ZFC, Z30 or Z50? Or would you even consider it for a full frame Z because it gives you a look that you might have to pay a lot more money for to get? It's been so good to see you, and if this is your first time here, I would love to see you again, so please do subscribe, please share, and please like. And I will see you very soon, and we'll get some pictures taken with this lens ASAP. All right, bye for now.